Well, the saga continues with the 315B. My last video was so definitive. I was so happy that I had found that my old unit had failed. Bought the new unit, plugged it in, didn't work, right? So I had to go back to the drawing board, and I've discovered some new and interesting things. First thing, I guess I'll focus on the least of the complicated items, is the part numbers were wrong, right? So talked to the dealership in Knoxville, talked to the tech support line, gave them my serial number, they gave me the part numbers. They told me that I needed this item, 5228. Not the correct item. The correct part number, after I got that unit in, it didn't physically fit. Cable was way too long. I then got this part number, 247-5232. And guess what? It did fit. Interestingly enough, after spending days messing around with the machine, I found the part number sticker under the engine in all of the goop. It had peeled off the unit and blown away, but I cleaned out the bottom of the motor bay and found the original sticker, which is a 5232. So 247-5232 is the correct unit. The second issue, which I think you'll probably remember, having just watched the video, is that the pinout on the 6-pin that's down there that connects to the governor was absolutely for sure understood, right? Two different people had told me the same things. I'd poured over the schematics myself. Was absolutely certain that the male end of the connector looked like this. Keep power on pins 6, accel and decel on 5 and 4, feedback on 3, ground on 2, and 1 was not used. I had no power to it, and was told by two different sources, one dealership and one independent guy, that pin 1 is not used. So having no power to it meant nothing to me, and of course I spent forever doing different things. Turns out pin 1 is in fact battery plus, as it shows on the official schematic, and isn't not used for this particular serial number. It is used, and when you put 24 volts to it, everything works just fine. Why does it not have voltage? Well, guess what? I've got mice that have decided to eat away. Bit through one wire, completely taken an inch out of the other wire, bit through another wire, and bit through and damaged down there a third wire. Whichever one of these it is that's cut the power to the unit, I don't know yet, but I'll fix all the wires that I find, plus look for others. I do know it works because I've put power with a wire from the battery onto that pin, and the old unit operates perfectly. So, squirrels, right? Squirrels are the cause, but the reason I didn't think it was that is that I was told definitively by the dealer about what this unit needed, and was misled, and they were wrong, and that's a lesson learned. But anyway, I'm going to fix all this this wiring, and she'll fire straight back up again. Well, the discoveries continue. I must have 10 broken, chewed through, bitten off wires right here that I don't have 10 things that don't work, right? So I got to split that back, expose all that, figure out which wire is which, crimp them all back together again. Oh my God. So there's 6 in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 there, 8 bitten through there, 3 bitten through in the relay panel. Just cut through almost like snippers. But it's only a matter of a little bit of time. So this is, I guess, halfway there. This is the relay panel, back of the cab. So one wire, 2, 3, 4, and then a jumper across, and I've lost it now. There it is, 5, 6. So 6 wires in the relay box that have been cut through, and then second phase is that big block of wires at the back there that's been cut through. There's probably about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 there, but I should be able to strip back that main cable sheathing, expose enough of them to connect them all, and I think the colors are close enough. There's a whole bunch of greens that are not easy to find, but hopefully there's numbers on the greens, because if not, I'm kind of screwed. But just go careful, see which ones are completely separated, which ones are not, and see if I can hook it up. Oh, those greens are not going to be fun. There's a whole bunch of greens right there, but we'll see. It's about an hour later, and finished all the splicing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the what you might call the main wiring harness, all bitten through. The biggest issue back there is that you've got to invent a process you stick to, else it becomes a little overwhelming. Everything looks the same, right? So I got 4 bluish green, I've got 4 greens, I've got 1 purple, 1 brown, right? So you connect the brown to the brown and the purple to the purple, and then you start looking for numbers. So every wire is numbered about every 6 inches, but the grease and oil and dirt that's on it, as soon as you wipe it, the markings disappear. So you've got to use a magnifying glass, look at it with it still covered in the filth. If you cannot determine the number, then wipe it. I mean, there's an example right there in the middle of the screen of a 405. I can see it from here. Nice and clean, nice and easy on that grey wire in the middle of that bundle. But that is the only oddball. Everything else is so hard to determine. So anyway, 8 or 9 wires done back there, 6 or 7 done in the relay panel. I'm still looking at everything. I believe I've got every one of them. It's a miracle that the machine was running at all with so many wires cut through. But anyway, I'm going to wire tie it, vacuum it out, start to reassemble it. I think I'll test it, of course, before I reassemble it. And continue with the video. So I think I've finished. The original old control unit is back in place again. The cable fits. I've put it almost where I think it was, close to idle. The idle screws and the full throttle screws are adjusted. So of course all the electrical stuff's done. I started to reassemble and then realized that if I do that, I may have to take it all apart again. But all the cables back there are wire tied and neat. I had to extend all of the cables that I was making just to give myself room for my hands. But I'll finish this assembly when I know for sure it's good. So let's turn the disconnect. Alright, so key on. No sparks, no smoke. Fired right up. So let's turn the throttle, see what happens. Yay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so throttle's up. Throttle's down. Let's check the backup switches. Let's take it out of ECM mode. Shuts the display off. Use the toggle switch. Oh yes, there we go. There's RPM up and there's RPM down. Back to ECM mode. I would declare success. I'll have to calibrate it now, but I'll go through that a little bit later. So everything's good. End of the saga. Also, I noticed a couple of warning lights that I've always had on have gone off. Some of those 23 wires that were bitten through clearly did a few other things. But anyway, I'm done. Good news. And when I turn the key off, it actually shuts off now. So the fuel shut-off solenoid was not working properly before. Now that's magically started working properly, which is all good news.